welcome to Classic Car Rental. This film is a little bit different because I have to start with a confession. There's no other way to say it, but I've been having a love affair outside of my marriage for over 30 years. Now, in my defence, I've only been married for 20 years, so I don't think that really counts as being unfaithful, does it? I mean, from the moment I first saw her, I knew this would be the one for me. That one true, enduring love that honestly has lasted a lifetime. And as that love has matured, I just want to spend more and more time with her. I can't help it. It's the one that captured my heart all those many years ago. Now, in fairness, my wife does know about this love. In fact, she was partly responsible for bringing my soulmate back into my life. I think it's time that you met this incredible creature, the one that occupies my thoughts night and day. Yes, this is the one that stole my heart all those many years ago and has been setting the standard for performance cars for nearly 60 years, the iconic and incredible Porsche 911. Now, I fully accept that I'm totally biased when it comes to the Porsche 911. For the moment I first drove one back in the mid-1980s, I was totally hooked. Nothing else feels like them, sounds like them, drives like them, and it has that incredible visceral driving experience that honestly spoiled me for all other cars that I've driven since. They are incredible machines. And combined with that legendary Porsche build quality, and I know it sounds like a cliche, but they really are the supercar that you can drive every single day. Since the 911 was first introduced back in 1963, there have been 8 evolutions of that wonderful shape, all of them fabulous cars in their own right, a continuous development of that 911 dynasty. Of all those variations, I would suggest that it's the first generation of the 997 that is best suited to your rental fleet. Why? Well, there are a few reasons. Number one, the cost to get into one is less than £25,000 now, so all that depreciation has pretty much finished, and running costs should be kept to a minimum.
The 997 has a really high quality interior, replacing the uncomfortable seats and the divisive looks of the previous 996, so there should be no complaints about aching backs and headlights looking like fried eggs.
The drive is really engaging, and the car isn't dominated by the multitude of electronics that have arguably diluted more recent versions. Many have in fact argued that the 997 is the last of the true driver's 911s, and I have to say I'm in no position to disagree. It is fabulous. The 911 is amazingly practical. My wife and I took ours to Le Mans for a week last year. We managed to pack in an 8-person tent, duvets, pillows, a queen-size inflatable mattress, clothes for the week, camera gear, food and drink, and we still had enough room for some rather nice wines and some rather fragrant stinky cheeses on the way back. It's a very, very practical car. Unlike more temperamental classic cars, the 911 isn't water soluble, so you really can use it all year round. So when the weather turns a little inclement, or you have a village idiot here with a hose pipe, thank you, you can hit the wipers and you don't have to worry about it. Amateurs. Originality is key when buying a Porsche, and a full service history absolutely essential. If the car doesn't have that, then please walk away, as there are plenty out there that do. Online forums are full of scare stories about poor scoring and failing bearing and seals. In reality, only a tiny proportion of those cars were actually impacted, but it's worth checking before you buy one that the IMS, RMS were both done, and also get the car checked for ball score before purchase. That means you can sleep at night. The turbo version didn't suffer from these issues though, as it used the legendary race-derived Mesler engine, which was virtually bomb-proof. The turbos though do have a serviceable life of around about 50,000 miles, so make sure that they've received some TLC before picking one up, or factor that into your price negotiation.
Also, check the spoiler rams for oil leaks and corrosion, as Porsche won't repair them and will charge you over £3,000 for a replacement system. Ouch.
Honestly though, I wouldn't bother with a turbo for the rental fleet. There's far too much performance for a rental car, you just don't need it. Also, you're going to be paying in excess of £60,000 to find one, and the manual version well, you're going to pay a premium for that as well, because they're becoming highly collectible. Instead, I'd focus on spending about $25,000 and getting yourself a very well sorted 3.8S or a C4S, if you can find one for that sort of money. That should get you a sunroof as well. Don't pay a premium for the convertible over at the coupe, as the market values them as equally desirable. On the road, the car is unmistakably Porsche. The sound, the smell, the way it interacts with the driver is like little else. And the immediacy of that performance, it's always such a thrill. It's not hard to understand why virtually every Formula One driver since the 1960s has had one in their garage at some point. Now, you can drive this car like a Golf if you want to, it'll behave extremely well. But if you drop a couple of cogs and then give it the nuts, oh my God, that's outrageous! The 911 really is the ultimate sports car, and your customers will want to get behind the wheel time and time again. And trust me, if they're not driving it, you will be. It's really that good. Driving through these country lanes, the car reminds you all of the time that it's 100% Porsche. The steering is so direct, I mean, it's so precise. Wherever you put it, it just goes there. There's so much grip. And we're not just talking about reliant on the tyres. This is full-on mechanical grip. This car has been well engineered, and you know it.
So what can you expect to be earning from your car? Well, depending on condition, the 997 is typically renting for anywhere between £350 and £400 per day. Based on an average of 15% utilisation per year, you should easily achieve a yield of approximately 75 to 85%, which is exceptional.
So what does it cost to keep a 997 on the road? Running one is surprisingly cheap. I have one of these myself, but actually it costs no more to run and insure than my BMW 2-litre diesel. Insurance, about £300 a year. Servicing and maintenance, again, about £300 a year as an average, and that's through an official Porsche centre. Possibly a little bit less if you want to go to a Porsche independent specialist. And road tax just under the 600 mark, but you can pay less than that for a non-turbo version. So overall, pretty economical. So let's sum up the 997 Generation 1. Minimal depreciation and very reasonable running costs. A true performance car that will give you that driving experience and that iconic 911 shape. A car that's going to pull your customers back time and time again just to get that Porsche experience.
Thank you so much for watching, and please join us again when we review another timeless classic. In the meantime, you can subscribe to our social media channels here, where we can keep you up to date with all things classic car rental. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.